There is a kitchen scrap sitting in your trash right now that could be the reason your flowers aren't blooming the way they should. 1 tablespoon? That's all it takes. Not a cup. Not a whole peel dumped in the soil. 1 tablespoon, used the right way, at the right time. But here's the problem. Almost everyone online is doing this wrong. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why most banana peel advice fails and what actually works. Stick around, because the mistake I'm about to show you is one I made for 2 full growing seasons before I figured it out. Welcome back to Senior Green Haven. If you're tired of confusing gardening advice, recycled internet hacks, and exaggerated claims, you found the right channel. Here we separate gardening fact from fiction, and we explain what actually works, and just as importantly, what doesn't. Banana peel water is one of those topics that splits gardeners into 2 camps. Half of you swear by it. Your grandmother did it, your neighbor does it, and somewhere along the way, you saw a video promising it would turn your garden into a jungle of blooms overnight. The other half thinks it's a myth. Just another kitchen scrap hack that sounds nice on camera but does nothing in real soil. So which side is right? Honestly, both and neither. Because banana peel water absolutely can help your flowering plants, but only if you understand what it actually contains, which plants respond to it, how to prepare it correctly, and when it will do nothing at all. Today we're covering all of it. What's really inside that peel, the plants that benefit most, the correct 1 tablespoon method, the mistakes that quietly sabotage your results, and the myths that need to die. Let's get into it. Let's start with the science, because this is where most videos completely skip over the truth. Banana peels are rich in potassium. Potassium is one of the 3 major nutrients plants need. The K in the NPK ratio you see on every fertilizer bag. Potassium plays a huge role in flower formation, fruit development, and overall plant resilience. It helps regulate water movement inside the plant and strengthens the plant's ability to fight off disease and stress. But here's what most gardeners never realize. Banana peels are low in nitrogen and phosphorus. Nitrogen drives leafy green growth. Phosphorus is critical for root development and, yes, blooming. So while banana peels give your plant a solid potassium boost, they are not a complete fertilizer on their own. This matters because a lot of the hype around banana peel water treats it like a miracle cure-all. It isn't. Think of it less like a full meal for your plant and more like a specific vitamin supplement. It supports one particular function, flowering and stress resistance, extremely well. It doesn't replace balanced plant nutrition. Banana peels also contain small amounts of calcium and magnesium, which support cell wall strength and chlorophyll production. Nothing dramatic, but every bit helps a stressed or blooming plant. So the real question isn't, does banana peel water work? It's, does your plant actually need extra potassium right now? And for a lot of flowering plants, especially ones getting ready to bloom, the answer is yes. So why has this hack survived for generations, passed down from grandmothers and old-school gardeners long before social media existed? Because when used correctly, on the right plant, at the right stage, the results are genuinely visible. More blooms, slightly deeper flower color in some species, sturdier stems that hold up better in wind and rain. This is where almost everyone gets it wrong, though. They see one dramatic before and after video and assume banana peel water is a universal flower steroid. It's not steroids, it's potassium. And potassium only shines when the plant is already getting its other basic needs met. Enough light, consistent watering, and decent soil. If your plant is starving for nitrogen or sitting in compacted, lifeless soil, no amount of banana peel water is going to save it. That's the honest truth nobody wants to put in a thumbnail. Not every plant responds to banana peel water the same way. This is the part almost every other video skips entirely. Potassium-loving bloomers tend to respond best. Roses are a great example. They're heavy potassium users, and a boost during bud formation can genuinely support fuller blooms. Tomatoes, while technically a fruiting plant rather than a pure flower, respond strongly too because potassium directly supports fruit set following flowering. Geraniums, marigolds, and petunias, common container and bedding flowers, also tend to respond well, especially in pots, where nutrients get depleted faster than in garden soil. On the flip side, orchids and other epiphytic plants generally do not respond well. Their root systems and nutrient needs are highly specialized, and the sugar content in banana peel water can actually encourage fungal issues in their unique growing medium. Succulents and cacti are another group to leave out of this. These plants are adapted to nutrient-poor soil, and adding extra organic matter and moisture, even in small amounts, can invite root rot rather than blooms. So here's the rule of thumb. If your flowering plant is a heavy feeder that blooms repeatedly through the season, roses, marigolds, petunias, geraniums, banana peel water can genuinely help. If it's a plant adapted to lean, dry conditions, skip it entirely. Now let's get into the method, because this is where most people go wrong before they even use the tablespoon. The most common mistake is burying whole peels directly in the soil. Here's what actually happens when you do that. The peel takes weeks to break down. It can attract fruit flies and other pests, and worst of all, the decomposition process temporarily pulls nitrogen from the surrounding soil as microbes work to break down the organic matter. So burying whole peels can actually rob your plant of nitrogen right when it needs it. The correct method is to make banana peel water, a mild potassium-rich liquid you can control and measure. Here's how to do it properly. Take 2 to 3 banana peels and chop them into small pieces. Place them in a jar or container and cover them completely with water. Let this sit for 48 to 72 hours at room temperature, not longer. This is where a lot of gardeners make their second mistake. They let it sit for a week or more, which invites bacterial growth and produces a smell strong enough to clear a room. 2 to 3 days is enough to draw the potassium into the water without it turning into a fermented mess. Strain out the peel pieces once it's done. What you're left with is a mild brownish liquid. That's your concentrate. Here's the part everyone's been waiting for: the actual tablespoon method and why 1 tablespoon is the number that matters. You do not use the concentrate straight. This is the single biggest mistake gardeners make. And it's the reason so many people say banana peel water did nothing, or worse, hurt my plant. Undiluted, the concentrate can be too strong, throwing off the salt balance in the soil and potentially stressing the roots. The correct method: mix 1 tablespoon of your banana peel concentrate into 1 full liter of water. Stir it well. This gives you a gentle, diluted feed, enough potassium to support flowering, without overwhelming the plant. Apply this diluted mixture directly to the soil around the base of the plant, not on the leaves, once every 2 to 3 weeks. Not daily, not weekly. This isn't a hack where more is better. Overuse can build up potassium levels in the soil to the point where it actually blocks the plant's ability to absorb other nutrients like magnesium and calcium, a problem called nutrient antagonism. The best time to start this routine is right before the budding stage, when your plant is transitioning from leaf growth into flower production. That's when potassium demand is naturally highest, and that's when this small boost does the most good. Let's talk about where this goes wrong, because I made most of these mistakes myself before I understood the science. Mistake 1. Using it as a replacement for real fertilizer. Banana peel water is a supplement, not a substitute. If your plant needs nitrogen and phosphorus, and all you're giving it is potassium, you'll actually create a nutrient imbalance rather than fixing one. Mistake 2. Applying it to young seedlings. Seedlings need a more balanced nutrient profile to establish strong roots and leaves first. Hitting them early with a potassium-heavy feed can throw off that early development. Mistake 3. Using moldy or overly fermented peel water. If it smells sour or rotten rather than mildly earthy, that batch has gone bad. Bacterial overgrowth in the liquid can introduce pathogens to your soil rather than nutrients. When in doubt, toss it and start fresh. Mistake 4, and this is the surprising one: expecting instant results. Potassium supports the biological processes behind blooming, but it isn't a light switch. Most gardeners see a noticeable difference over 2 to 4 weeks of consistent, correct application, not overnight. Let's clear up a few things the internet keeps getting wrong. Myth 1. Banana peel water makes any plant bloom bigger and faster, guaranteed. False. It supports potassium-hungry bloomers. It won't do much for plants that don't need extra potassium in the first place. Myth 2. More banana peels means more results. Also false and potentially harmful. Concentration matters far more than volume. A properly diluted tablespoon beats a jar of undiluted sludge every time. Myth 3. Banana peel water is a complete organic fertilizer. It's not. It's missing meaningful nitrogen and phosphorus. Pair it with a balanced feeding routine. Don't replace one with the other. Myth 4. You should use it on every single plant in your garden. Definitely not. As we covered, succulents, cacti, and many epiphytes do not benefit and can actually suffer from it. Use it when your flowering plants are entering the budding stage, when you're growing potassium-hungry bloomers like roses, marigolds, geraniums, or petunias, and when your soil already has decent nitrogen levels from compost or a balanced fertilizer. Skip it when you're growing succulents, cacti, or epiphytic plants, when your seedlings are still young and establishing roots, or when your soil is already nutrient-rich and well-fertilized, since adding more potassium at that point risks nutrient imbalance rather than benefit. Few small things that make a real difference. Always apply your diluted mixture to moist soil, never bone-dry soil, so the roots can absorb it evenly instead of getting a concentrated shock in one spot. Keep a simple routine. Same day every 2 to 3 weeks is easier to remember than whenever I think of it. And combine this with your regular fertilizing schedule rather than treating it as your entire nutrition plan. The final tip: change the way I garden. Track your results. Pick 2 or 3 plants, apply the tablespoon method consistently for one full growing season, and actually compare bloom count to the previous year. That's how you find out if it's working for your specific soil and climate, instead of just trusting a video, including this one. So here's the honest truth about banana peel water. It's not a miracle. It's not a myth either. It's a mild, potassium-rich supplement that can genuinely support better blooms on the right plants, used the right way, at the right time. 1 tablespoon of diluted concentrate every 2 to 3 weeks, starting right before the budding stage. Skip the whole peels buried in soil. Skip the undiluted jars of concentrate. And skip using it on plants that were never going to benefit in the first place. Get the method right, and this simple kitchen scrap can genuinely earn a spot in your gardening routine. Have you ever tried banana peel water in your garden? What results did you get? Did it work, or did it do nothing? Let me know in the comments. And what gardening topic should I fact-check next? Coffee grounds? Eggshells? Tell me below and I'll dig into the real science behind it. If this video helped you separate fact from fiction, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next honest gardening video from Senior Green Haven. See you in the next one.